Welcome in to Get Real with Bubba and Sarah, where we cover everything that humans go through. Family trauma, relationships, self-help advice, and Sarah's book club are just a few things that you'll get here. Enjoy the show. Well, welcome into a very exciting episode of Get Real with Bubba and Sarah. For the first time, we are having a special guest join us on the show. And today we have Angell Deer from Sacred Paths. Welcome to the show, Angell.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here with you guys.
Well, before we get too far down in the interview, why don't you share a little bit about who you are, where you came from, and what you do now?
I'm a traditional healer. I'm a teacher of ancient wisdom, and I use this work to help people get into a good life. I think, many people are not feeling really well these days for many reasons. And it is my experience that with ancient tools, ancient wisdom, ancient rituals, practices, people can really reclaim their power. So, in many ways, that's my aim and vision and my daily life. I help people step back into their power, into their health.
That's amazing. And that's kind of how I found you. You're a prolific content creator online. I follow you pretty much everywhere that I can, I think. I'm not on TikTok, but the wife has an account there. And so I was introduced through you mostly through your Facebook content, and the things you were sharing really resonated with me. And I just kept kind of digging in deeper to who you were. And I've just loved getting the free healing that you're kind of putting out there, because I think our words have such a power to just heal and help that. So I thank you for the service that you've already done for me. And I really just wanted to have you on our program to introduce you to our fans and to my co-host Sarah as well. Sarah, go ahead and
Yeah.
say hi. And if you have a question
Hi.
for Angell, go ahead.
I do. Yeah. First of all, I don't think anybody can see my face, but that's okay because I just rolled out of bed. So you don't want to see my face today. But I'm wondering how I'm going to get in on this free healing because I really, really, really need it. Okay. And I constantly work on myself and I do hypnosis and Reiki and, just Oracle and tarot and cold plunging, all the stuff. But I need some healing as well because I have been going through my own mental turmoil,
Mhm.
especially with social media because I do social media everything and I'm feeling a social media burnout and I just don't know how to balance all of that because I love to work. And so as you can see, I'm always working morning, noon, night, through my head at night, everything. And so how do I get free healing?
Well, you can get free healing without me, just going out and connecting to the land and your ancestors and the trees and the animals and, the sky at night, the stars. I think, one of the main reasons we're not well is that we have taken ourselves out of what provides balance, holistic healing, as we call it, something all our ancestors, knew how to do. And obviously they weren't on screen, they were not on social media, they were much more present with their environment. And like you were sharing, right, I share a lot of free healing, which for me is my daily prayer. My prayer in the morning when I wake up is to connect with myself and connect with my environment, connect to the land I'm sitting on, connect to the animals and the trees and the beautiful beings in the forest. I live in this amazing forest here upstate New York. And from there, I write, whatever message, whatever is coming through. And, I've been sharing that for many, many years now. And, I'm blessed to have tens of thousands of people that read my work every day. But for me, it's a way to connect with myself, to connect with the environment. And, in the extension of it, yeah, I connect with others and I help others, I guess, to reconnect with themselves, to reconnect with who they truly are. It's very easy to forget in the world we're living in, and to be
Yeah.
trapped into the spinning wheel of achievements and doing in this practice, or even spiritual people. I have a lot of clients that are spiritual people, that have been healers for decades and are burnout. And I think that that's problematic, because we need to be able to be of service, and if we're burnout, we can't really serve our
Yeah.
community people, right?
That's what I'm working on right now is just really balancing everything because that's how I was feeling for a while is I get really into my work and I content create. I do all this stuff and I love it. But then I'm always constantly giving. I'm around people all the time and at events and all this. And I'm like giving, but also taking in all this energy. And I have to ground myself. And it's very difficult in the winter for me because I'm more of a like beach girl that wants to walk around and roll around in the sand. And I'm in South Dakota. And so yes, the grounding is harder for me outside right now. And so winters just get a little bit more difficult. But can I at least say that can we just be friends?
Yes, with pleasure, with pleasure.
Okay.
And Sarah, it's wintertime, and our ancestors, they would not do much right now until probably March or April. They would
Mhm.
just gather around the fire, pray for surviving the winter, share stories, share, prophecies, share their dreams. It was a time of slowing down, connecting with each other through stories, through talking, but not through doing much, right? So also, I think our body is feeling the winter and is welcoming it as a time of rest and a time of a different kind of connection. And I think just by doing that, with my wife, we sit around the fire in the evening, we read books, we share what's on our mind, we share our dreams in the morning. The body can relax, because the body remember what it needs, and it's gifted that healing.
I love that. Well, you seem like an amazing person, and I can't wait to ask Bubba how he found you. And because yes, I have been just feeling I was really depressed for a couple months and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And then I realized that I haven't been surrounding myself with spiritual people. I have been surrounding myself with, the people that are into the news, into politics, into this, into that. And it's just like, I can't stand that. I need to be surrounded by people that want to um, talk about spiritual stuff. And that's what I need to surround myself with. And so that's why I've been paying for people that I know, paying for the hypnosis, paying for the Reiki, paying for the sound healing. And I'm a yoga instructor, but that's the thing is like I I need yoga. I need a group around me. And there's not a lot of people around to do yoga in the small town that I live in right now. So it's nice to just kind of meet you because I can tell you are a healer and we might need to talk again.
Okay. Well, we chat.
So we'll have to figure out how to do that. If I don't know if you have a business that people pay you or you just do social media type of stuff, but Bubba will send all that info over to me, right, Bubba?
Oh yeah. Well, and that's why we're here sharing this is so people have a direct access, right? Sarah and I are both very interested in it, but we are not professionals and authorities in the fields, right? I know you wouldn't call yourself probably either one of those things, Angel, but we're looking for people that we can send our people that are hurting that maybe we can't help, that we don't have the resources for. And obviously, just a quick glance at your library in the background says that you are a very resourceful man. And that you're going to help a lot of people in our community, and that's really what this time of year is about. Is like you said, our ancestors. This was the time of community because the summers are so busy, and when the sun's out and the seasons, the days are long. We're feeding off that solar energy, and we're really, out there in it. And now, as the sun kind of is going away, and we're less and less and less, that I said it this way earlier today. I know I can burn hot. I know in the summertime I can burn hot and I have a ton of energy and I can get out there and I can do all the things, but can I smolder? Can I go inside of myself and find that fire and remember that? And I find that that's with my community that we do that, and not necessarily in a physical community. Sarah, I know your yoga studio and the members there are that physical community, but sometimes it's just this. Sometimes it's getting to meet and talk with a man like Angel. And, Sarah, was so important for me to have you on this morning because I knew it would be important to you. That's community. It doesn't have to be a big group of people. It can literally just be three people on a Zoom and accomplish so much internally that then we can share with the whole world.
Yes, yes. I'm so happy to meet you, Angel. And anybody named Angel needs to be in my life right now. Okay. I actually have a journal right next to me. I know you can't. Well, you can show me for 2 seconds if you want to.
Okay.
Okay. But if everybody wants to see what I look like in the morning, oh, it's saying start my video. But I have this journal that somebody gave me, which is actually really cute. Here I am. Hi. Radiate joy. Somebody said, oh, and I drew all over it last night. But Radiate Joy, this is a really good journal. I don't know if anybody needs it. A 90-day transformational journal. Am I journaling every single day? No, I forget half the time. But
Mm.
just every once in a while, being able to do stuff like that makes me feel better. So, okay, you can turn me off now. I actually do have to go because I am working. And so I need to get back to work. But so nice to meet you, Angel. I'm gonna have
Nice
Bubba
meeting,
send you my
Sarah.
info. Can Bubba send you my info?
Yes, sure, please do.
And you reach out because I would love to just have a meeting to talk about, even with your wife, to talk about whatever it is you guys do to heal. Okay?
Thank you.
Bye, Sarah. We love
Thank
you.
you, Bubba. We love you. Or we actually we do, but this is Stevie.
Have a
See
great
you
day,
later.
Sarah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I just gotta figure out how to leave. There we go. Leave meeting.
Awesome, Angel. Well, I appreciate you humoring me. I knew it was important to Sarah to hear and to get to meet you. And yeah, so why don't we talk a little bit about Sacred Paths? We'll let you talk about what it is exactly that you do now. So why don't you share with our listeners what it is that Sacred Path is and the mission moving forward?
Well, we are, an online platform for transformation for people that feel that they haven't walked a sacred path. Many people live their life in the world today that is in reflection of what the system told them to do, right? Their family system or the education system or the politics and the country they're living in, their culture. But from an ancient perspective, people were not really told to walk a certain life. You were observed as a little toddler, as a little kid. The elder would watch you and see, what attracts you into nature. What do you do? Do you build things? Do you sing? Are you a community leader? I mean, they would really observe children, and then they would foster and develop those gifts and support those gifts to happen. There is a huge difference, I think, between the indigenous view of people compared to the Western view. And from the Western perspective, you come empty. You arrive, you're empty, and we have to fill you with knowledge, right? And that's your education, that's your many, many things. From a more indigenous perspective, you come with your purpose, your path. You come full. You come with everything you need in order to live a beautiful life. And I think a lot of people are suffering today because they are not walking their sacred path. So the idea of sacred path, the idea of this community and all the offerings we are doing is to give people the tools, the compass, the GPS, right? Like you turn on Google Map and you ask where to go, right? But how do you do that in our world, right? And often you just go online or you ask different people. You don't always have elders that can help you, and that's really problematic. So our goal is to provide people with that kind of information, which I believe in the world of today, that is very divided, and we're facing, a lot of social issues and environmental issues and political issues. People are feeling very heavy, and a lot of people are feeling very lost. And I think a lot of people that join us, or at least a lot of people that I talk to, they're like, I don't know where to go anymore. Nothing seems to work, or what I learned doesn't seem to work. What can I do? And there are amazing, incredible, timeless teachings in indigenous wisdom. And we're trying to offer that to people, as a resource, to reclaim their power, to have good relation, good families, good lives.
And I think it's funny because even in today's society and in today's culture, we all talk about a calling. You found your calling and your purpose and things, but nobody is even touching on the subject besides, people like yourself that are like, well, how are you doing the investigative work to find that calling? Do you think it's just going to fall from the sky on you? What studying of yourself and going and praying and meditating on it are you doing to find that calling? I think very few people find it in just going and getting a job at 18 years old, fresh out of high school, or, a career after college, and finding your calling through that. Now, are there people that do? Undoubtedly, right?
Mhm.
But I think for a lot of us that have just kind of been cycled through the system, that we have either never been introduced to that calling, or just don't even know where to look.
Yeah, that's so very true. I like your image. And, for me, it's very much even, there's so many things available online now, right? You can do meditation, and there are yoga studios, and there are, healing circles. There are so many things you can learn. But I think, often we become this hoarder of tools. It's like we have this amazing tool shed, and one tool is meditation, and one tool is yoga, and one tool is, I don't know, psychotherapy. And so you have all those tools. And then basically you're supposed to know how to build a house, which is your house, right? Your inner house, your foundation. And my experience is that people, have more knowledge than they used to have because of this connection. And, that's kind of the positive side, I guess, of the internet and social media and all that. But nobody has a plan. Nobody has a map. How do you use all those tools to build a house? Is very different. I could have all the tools in the world, and in fact, all the construction materials. I can't build a house. So what do? I need to go to someone that's a builder that's built, hundreds of houses that can teach me. And I think that's the goal of the teachers and the elders and the wisdom keepers. They're telling you, well, it's great. Yeah, meditation is great. But if meditation was going to solve your issues, it would be done by now because there is 1,000 books about it and audios and podcasts and videos. But somehow people say, well, I've been meditating for 10 years and I'm still stuck. What's going on? I say, well, who's teaching you? What plan do you have? Do you know how to put things in order? When do you meditate? How do you meditate? What kind of meditation? And also, it's not just about meditation. You need to reconnect to the land. You need to reconnect to your ancestors. You need to build community, right? You need to heal all those false beliefs that you learn from the world, that you're broken, you're not abundant, you're not tapped into your spirituality, and you need kind of a map on how do you work all of that? Because I think healing in today's world is quite complex. It's very complex because of the disconnection from nature, of the system we are living in, of the pain that is unhealed, right? And if you don't really have a guide and a map, I think very often you just stay stuck, right?
Angel, do you find that there's quite a bit of deconstruction that you have to do of those old mindsets and everything first as you kind of people come into your world and start to want to heal themselves? Like there's a breaking down process first of those old ideologies and everything as kind of a starting point to get them to there?
Yeah, it's a huge part of it. You have to come to a point in your life. And I guess, for me, it took me, 30 years. And for some people, it'll take 20, or for people, it'll take 50. But you have to come to a point in your life to realize that what you've learned maybe doesn't work. And you can, do that by just witnessing the world and say, well, is it really working? Are people really more happy today? We have more comfort, right? We have washing machines and cars and stuff like that. But the statistic on mental health, on happiness, are catastrophic, are really bad. So clearly, you must come to that place, say, okay, what I've been learning doesn't work. So I need to unlearn that and remember something else. I believe personally that we carry all the tools we need, but that doesn't mean we know how to access them. That doesn't mean we know, often people say, well, this intuition, and I think I need to do that. But is that coming from true intuition, or is that coming from fears? Is that coming from belief systems that are not working? You know, intuition is a tricky thing, right? Sometimes we are a strong voice tell us to do something, but it's not always based on what we would call true intuition, which is your soul, your heart, you know, however you want to call it, something that is really pure and untouched by the world. So yeah, we have to deconstruct the mind. We have to shed a lot of belief. And that's very hard because the mind doesn't like that. It doesn't like to die. It doesn't like to let go. But that's a necessary process, yes. And that's why very often people don't embark very deeply on the healing process, because it can be quite challenging to do that, you know.
Yeah, well, and that's a great point. I told you 20 minutes. We're about at that time now. We have access to each other. I'm going to be doing a lot more reading and digging into your programs as well. Why don't you go ahead and tell everyone how they can find you and to start to use the sacred paths and the teachings that you provide to heal themselves.
Well, they can join our community. You know, you can go on Sacred Path with an S, Sacred Path, many paths.earth, sacredpath.earth. And yeah, you can register to our newsletter there. We do a lot of free content, you know, weekly podcasts, YouTube videos. We also have, you know, tools, ebooks, things you can download to help you kind of start the inquiry. And then we have online classes, you know, on-demand classes you can do from the space of your home. And then we have, you know, longer program where I get very involved with you and, you know, I help you every week, and I do coaching, and over 3 or 4 months, we get you to that place of joy. We get you to that purpose. So really there is, you know, for everyone there. But I think the best is just to connect to the platform, start reading the content, feel into it. And if you feel a strong connection, if it resonates, then, you know, reach out to me or to our team and see how we can support you in whatever you are dealing with in your life.
That's really amazing. And just a little testimonial of the newsletter for everyone. I've been a member of it for a few weeks now. And the one thing that you talked about in the newsletter this week was, you know, start by building an altar. And that's something that I'm going to recommend to Sarah right away, is having a space. I have mine right next to me here in the studio. And that's how I start my day. I kind of put some sound bath stuff on YouTube. And before I read any emails or do any of that, you know, I read a few passages out of my book, and I burn some sage and some sweetgrass, and I just kind of make sure that I'm in that right headspace before I let the world start to influence me again, right? And to put all those inputs back in, I want to make sure that I'm kind of, you know, distilling that out and knowing, starting from a place of purpose and intention with every single day. And I think that's how the process goes. You just keep living every day like that. And the process of healing is not a weekend thing. You're not going to go to some retreat and all of a sudden you're healed and walking away.
Mhm.
Yes, you may open some doors for yourself to start that journey, but it's a long process, especially for people like me who have been out there, have experienced real trauma, have experienced so much of this life, you know, and that was my goal setting out at 18 years old when I left my parents' home, and probably even before that, was to experience this human nature. I wanted to experience it. And now that I've experienced so much of this, I want to be able to distill it down and to share my experiences, but I want to do it from a place of love. I don't want to share these negative experiences to just kind of complain about them. That's not what this show is about. It's about sharing this experience so that we can heal one another. And it's something that Sarah and I have set out with intention to do. And obviously, following people like you, it keeps us motivated to continue to not just heal ourselves, but to maybe provide at least to show you the door. Whether you want to walk through that or not is really up to the individual. So, Angell, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for being part of our program.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure. Have a beautiful rest of the day.
I hope we get to do it again.
Yes, me too.
Thanks for listening. Remember to follow the Scene Projects on all your social media channels and get even more content at thesceneprojects.com.